Okay, abusia Vice President JaneNaana Opoku Agyeman wababe make shocking statement abusia hante NPP amanyɔkuo no NPP criminal appointees abusia ɔsɛ 2026 no yestim no they have an agenda to prosecute any criminal former appointees na abusia asɛm wei Vice President JaneNaana Opoku Agyeman de tuja no abusia okɔ NPP headquarters ija edda ho amoche se asema maame yi kan de enibre aba na saa maame no onkasa kwa abusua yense momre no yenko na yenkonkoti ensma Vice President Professor JaneNaana Opoku Agyeman ode etudwa abusua on subscribe like na sanso ehye ma afofron so ensa into me enkabia ha Ghana Politics Avenue. So, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that any updates be you be dropping on. Also, once a bit to me, aka, Madam Ase.
And going forward, let us all be mindful. We have an agenda to prosecute. We have a country to build, and everybody is part of it. And I've said it again and again, regardless where we are, regardless the role to play. Everybody has a role to play. Let us stay the course. Let us avoid unhelpful distractions. Let us put the country forward and put Ghana first. All other things will be added unto us. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The chairman of our party, the general secretary, Naname, members of parliament, elders of our party, members of the media, all of us who are gathered here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I promise to be very brief. First, I bring you greetings from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who wishes everybody a very, very happy New Year. We know why he is not here. In this kind of position, sometimes, as we used to say in school, it is difficult to division yourself into twice. Because sometimes the 2 or 3 activities are equally important. And it's very, very difficult to make a choice. So we understand that. And I believe that when I go back to tell him that it was a spectacular performance today, I would have been telling the truth, wouldn't I? I salute everybody. And all the people who marched past, especially the children among them. My special salutations to them. Thank you. Thanks to all the organizers for making today even more special. I also commend all the speakers who have come before me. So much they have said. So much truth they have shared with us. And I know that we've heard them all. And as time goes on, even from today, will abide by them. The first point I want to make is that, yes, we are a young country, but our history goes much, much further back. And I want us to be very, very mindful of that. The people of Ghana say, isn't that the case? That we've come from far away. And a very important comedian who has passed said, we came from far away. Either way, they are pointing us to a certain path in the past. And I'm using this to let us all know that there's so much we have survived.
And we have survived that based on certain principles. And those principles still persist and they are still valid. Those principles have shaped our history as we have come along, including what we are celebrating today. The very important fact of holding ourselves together, of saying no to the wrong things and forging ahead with the values that matter. And today we are remembering 44 years. There are many we know. There's one thing that also used to occupy J.J. Rawlings, and that was the people whose names may have perished, but who were part of the forward march. He never forgot. And that was why he was always interested in pushing others forward and not himself. That is one lesson I want all of us to learn. I don't want to speak for too long. So it calls into our memory the role of the unknown soldier. What motivated those people? I believe it's because there was a cause they believed in, and they were willing to sacrifice everything. What motivated them? It was what was good for the majority. And what was that? It was about the values that would push our country forward. And what are some of them? We all know. We use the words. And I want to urge that sometimes we pause and think about what they connote. Accountability, openness, caring, respecting, regardless. Working not only for ourselves, but more for others. Regardless what we are doing, whether it's a private business, we are teaching, we are healing, we are interacting to put others first. So the question is, what are we doing to keep that focus, to advance our country, to ensure that the original sacrifices others made, so that we are here today, that those sacrifices remain valid? What is our role? What is our charge today? I heard them poetry. Some didn't even have the privilege of spending time with their own children. I can't imagine a sacrifice more than that. They did all of that. And as I said, our history goes further back. Many people have brought us here. Today we are here. What are we doing with that privilege? What one good thing are we doing to help one person? Now we are at the cusp of a new year. Yes, we'll count our blessings, but we'll also be very mindful of our weaknesses and balance the two. It has been a difficult year, we know, but we have also been, let me say that God has been gracious, and I'm not just using words. We have been through a very, very difficult time. But yes, we have survived, and we will survive it even further going ahead. The quality of our depends on you and me. All the things that we do, regardless where we are. Whether we have an appointment or we are not, or we don't. Our activities affect others. Let us ensure that they are affecting others in positive ways and not in ways that inure only to us. We are, you know what, New Year begins tomorrow, doesn't it? How are we entering this new year? I'm not going to ask about resolutions. We hope for a better year. A better year doesn't announce itself because it's going to be a better year. We can make it a better year. And I know that we will. Or we don't plan to do that. Yes. Thank you very much.
I just want to make a small correction. And the correction is that we are not celebrating 31st December movement. We are commemorating the events that took place on 31st December 1981. It was a revolution that came to stop the decade of decay. That is what we are commemorating today, not the movement. The movement came after the revolution had taken place. So that impression must be wiped out of our mind. The other thing is that the children of the Rawlinses belong to the party. Choboy. And nobody has the right to drive them out of this party. As long as we cadres are alive, these children belong to the party. They are our cadres. Choboy. So nobody is going to drive them out of the party. And so, madam, your fears are not at all. As long as we live, the children belong to the party. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, party executive, our traditional leaders, comrade cadres, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I stand on the protocol established to read to you the message of the United Cadres Front for the 44th anniversary of the 31st December 1981 revolution. We thank the Almighty for granting us life to witness the 44th anniversary of the 31st December 1981 revolution being held here in Addo today. Comrade Chairman, the theme for this year's anniversary, that is consolidating the reset Ghana, reflections on the gains of the 31st December revolution, sets the tone for reminding us of the decade that stopped the decay. That is from 1982 to 1992. Just as the Ghanaian economy had collapsed beyond recovery after so many years of bad governance, so also has the reset agenda come to rescue the country from 8 years of the maladministration of the Akuffo Addo Bawumia regime. With commendable results at all levels of national endeavor, only after 11 months of positive and proactive action by Team Mahama, we are hopeful that all stakeholders, be it government appointees, security personnel, clergy, CSOs, chiefs, and all progressive-minded citizens would rally around the flag of Ghana to chart a new path of dedicated service to the people rather than politics of looting state assets for personal good. To therefore succeed in the arduous task of relaying the socio-economic foundations that have the potential of keeping the reset agenda on course, certain actions need to be taken with revolutionary precision. Comrade Chairman, there seems to be a rush to respond to any deliberate or unholy agenda set by the minority and other anti-state elements to attract public ridicule of government appointees. We therefore caution that the ministers of state, heads of departments and agencies weigh their public discourses to prevent the hawks of diving on chickens. Comrade Chairman, the media landscape is crowded with the culture of lies, which is fanned by disinformation and misinformation, especially through difficult to control social media platforms. We urge the Ministry of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations to find every means possible to sanitize the system for the ministry to achieve its goal of promoting the development agenda of Ghana into a knowledge-based society and a smart economy using ICT rather than a den of liars and rumor mongers. In fact, it is time Parliament passed the bill on disinformation and misinformation to silence the noisy vuvuzelas. Comrade Chairman, there is a silent killer masterminded by enemies of state to stoke the embers of industrial unrest at the least opportunity. We commend ministers who have been able to douse such diabolical intentions, active dialogue and negotiation. After collapsing every fabric of the system and knowing very well that Team Mahama has performed beyond all expectations within a record period of 11 months, not years, they have no option but to put in more desperate moves to make the country ungovernable as they promised. We must therefore be proactive rather than reactive in ensuring that such politically generated industrial actions do not suffice or do not surface to derail any positive development agenda. Coming from a background of probity and accountability, the United Cadres Front fully supported the oral initiative as a preparatory platform for dealing with all those who have stolen monies and looted state properties with impunity. The oral team worked with pedestrian speed. Unfortunately, a slow call to action through the British inherited system of adjudication has instigated public resentment. The promise to establish specialized courts by courtesy of constitutionally backed tribunals has not seen the light of day, with culprits freely walking about, not in silence, but using the media as courts of public opinion. Comrade Chairman, a corrupt system in a corrupted environment easily breeds corrupt human beings. I repeat, a corrupt system in a corrupt environment easily breeds corrupt human beings. The consequence of our electoral fortunes in the 2028 elections will be dire if the pace to prosecute all those affected is not accelerated. One other evil on our hands is the delicate state of the dreaded canker of Galamsey. For us, the difficulty in fighting Galamsey has revealed how rotten the Ghanaian society has reduced itself to. Our chiefs, state actors, security personnel, civil and faith-based organizations, political party functionaries, and communities are either complicit or implicit in the immoral act of illegal mining. The shameless fact is that those who have been commissioned to join NIMOS and allied agencies to bring their existential threat to a close are callously being attacked by visibly organized gangs with impunity. As the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, we urge the President of the Republic to take the most decisive onslaught beyond the seeming complacency on the recalcitrant nation wreckers. We are not calling for shoot to kill, but rather shoot to protect our forest reserves and rivers. Comrade Chairman, we are ready to serve the very party we used our youthful energies to build. We are developing young men and women with a spirit of volunteerism, dedication to a cause as young cadres, and imbibing in them the tenets, values, and principles that separate the tendency of the NDC drifting into a collection of position seekers and cash cow financiers is real, with mounting campaign cost election after election.
Okay, abuzia we ne ensema ekoso ewo political highway so Professor JaneNaana Opoku Agyeman and wato sa straight bullet no de akọ NPP campa enye asem keso akra beda masesa mo jepene kokoti sa ensem we de my aha Ghana Politics Avenue. So and don't forget to click on the notification bell so that any updates be able dropping on so once a bit to me aka medamase.